Oh, yes. You know who it is. Your boy, the Base Boxing Basement. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, chill, be in the house. Remember to like, keep the fat, hateful, disgusting haters away. So, like I said, I've done a few videos on the Israel Madrimov Terence Crawford bill. It's a great bill. It's a great bill. It's a show that I would go to. It's definitely a show I would go to. And then, there's Ruiz Miller, a very interesting fight. And then there's Martin Bakole, right? He's Jared Anderson on the card. Now, as with all the heavyweights, right? These days, right, when you get lower weight guys, they're always ripped and they're always in good shape. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to read too much into it. But the heavyweights, the weights are very important. So Jared Anderson weighed in at 252 pounds, Martin Bakole at 284 pounds. Okay, so what can we read into this? Well, Bakole is an underrated fighter. He's strong, right? He's had 20 wins, 15 KOs, one loss by stoppage, but he gassed against Hunter, and I think he had some kind of shoulder injury. His last fight was Carlos Takam. He was short, but he's always game. He weighed 299, so he's overweight for that. Previously to that, he weighed 280. He weighed 275. He's Tony Yoka, right? Tony the Bum Yoka, Egg Yoka. Then 282. And then his best win is actually Sergei Kuzmin, and he weighed 251 pounds. So it's a lot lighter. But I think these heavyweights these days, they love to come in big. Okay? So, what do you think about Bakole's weight at 284? I'd say it's a little heavy. He's been heavier. It's a little heavy. But when you're that big, right, 6 pounds here, 7, 8, 9, 10 pounds isn't a lot. It's like 5% body weight. And these guys are enormous, And if they went for a dump, they'd probably lose 8 pounds. I like Bakole. There's been controversy because he put up some nonsense. You remember that? On his Twitter. But he said, I was trying to expose people. It's controversial. It's very odd. Some people think that he put it out by mistake. And he's a nonce himself. I don't buy that. He may have been. I didn't see it and didn't watch it. Apart from anything else, it's illegal. But I don't want to see that sickness anyway. But some people said he was trying to expose one way or another. Bakole, he seems quite likable. Bakole, and he's Billy Nelson. From Scotland. He's his big hope. Billy Nelson's desperate for him to have a shot at heavyweight title because that's the only way you're gonna make money. And that's fine. Again, I got no problem. Jared Anderson. Jared has been a typical American disappointment. There don't seem to be any good American heavyweights anymore. And everyone theorizes, it's because all the big black Americans go into NFL and basketball. This is nonsense. This is utter nonsense, right? The NFL and the NBA have been there for years. What? And they suddenly decided they want to do it? It's nonsense. The reason there's a gap is because the rest of the world has caught up. And also, more importantly, with the Eastern Europeans who never used to turn pro and the Cubans who never used to turn pro, now these guys are going pro. The rest of the world has caught up. Okay? Anderson, he's okay. I thought Prince Charles Martin, and I put money on it at the time, even though I wasn't obviously confident. If Charles Martin had pressed him, had gone forward, and at one stage he had Anderson hurt, he would have won that fight. I don't know why he didn't. It might be he wasn't fit enough. It might be he was bought. They offered him the fight and said, look, you can have this fight for X, Y, and Z money. Make sure you don't win. He suddenly stood off right? When he was hurting Anderson, and I said, what's his name? All Martin had to do is go forward, and when he went forward, he was hurting Anderson. He's okay, Anderson, by the way. He's quite athletic. Although when he started crying like a pussy hole with Roy Jones, it seemed fake. Oh, why me? Why are they choosing me? Why are they putting this pressure on me? Listen, man, if you're going to be an athlete and you're going to fight in the heavyweight division, of course there'll be pressure. Stop crying, you pussy hole. Weight-wise, Anderson has been 250 for his last fight against Riyad Murhi. He wasn't that impressive. He won on points. He was 239 against Andre Rudenko. Okay. Against Prince Charles minus 243. If you go back, he's fought as, lower weights. He's fought much lower, 20 pounds less. I don't have a problem with his weight. He's young. He's probably on the PEDs like every big name boxer should be, because everyone else is doing it. So of course you're on the PEDs. I'm more interested in Bakole's weight. I think he's coming a bit heavy, but then again, the Big Bang has put on a lot of weight. And what has that weight done? Well, it's destroyed people. Joe Joyce, he's ruined Joe Joyce twice. He knocked out Deontay Wilder. On the other hand, Joseph Parker, even though he dropped him twice, he couldn't win. So, and as I said, these heavyweights, man, they take a dump and they lose 8 pounds. So I'm not going to read too much into it. Has Bakole got a chance? Yeah. He's tough. He can take a punch. He hits hard. I quite like him already. He has a stupid look on his face. But Bakole, his work rate's not great. He can be outboxed. The question is, will his power and aggression beat Jared Anderson, or will Jared Anderson's athleticism win the day? It's fairly even with the bookies. Again, I'm not betting on this. The odds are not good enough. If you offered me 5-1 on Bakole, I'm dumping money on Bakole. But, they're offering I think it's 5-2 on Bakole, and that's not a good enough price as far as I'm concerned. No, it's not even 5. Excuse me, it's not 5-2. It's like 6-4 on Bakole. That's not a good enough price to put money on Bakole. I'd like to see Bakole win. Why? For a number of reasons. Because I'm sick of American fighters, their arrogance, their nonsense. Oh, you got to fight in America if you want to make it and prove yourself. What? I mean, that's always the most ridiculous argument of all. Oh, yeah, you got to give away, home advantage and come to America and suffer from jet lag, and then you're a big fighter. I mean, it's nonsense, right? And Anderson is a degenerate idiot. His brother and a bunch of other homeboys robbed and killed an innocent guy, a guy with a business, a guy with a family. And yet, Jared Anderson thinks it's completely reasonable to come in the ring wearing, handcuffs and an orange jumpsuit in honor of his brother, who's a disgusting criminal, who killed an innocent man, who robbed an innocent man, a guy who was known in the community, who was really liked in the community, who ran a business, who did something useful. And Jared Anderson has no problem. He thinks we should feel sorry for his disgusting, degenerate, violent, thieving brother. I mean, so I don't like Anderson. I'd like to see Bakole knock out Anderson, send him away to the shadow realm with big Congolese punches. Okay, and Billy Nelson will be happy. Okay, I want to see that. But if I had to predict the fight, it's a 12-rounder, so it's a long fight. Good. I like, all big fights should be 12-rounders. Funnily enough, Joe Joyce vs. Derek Chorizo was only 10 rounds, which I thought was odd for a headlining fight. My thoughts are, that Anderson, despite probably being more fragile than Bakole and possibly not as hard punching, is more athletic and he will get on the back foot. And Bakole's work rate is not strong. I think we will get a close decision. And we'll go to Anderson. It'll be like 7 rounds to 5. That kind of thing. To Jared Anderson. That's how I see it fight. I hope I'm wrong, blood. I hope Bakole irons out Anderson. I would sit there. I would laugh. Yet another useless American heavyweight, right? With the head on the block, chopped off. That's what I'd like to see. Like I said, Anderson himself doesn't seem a bad guy necessarily, apart from his crybaby routine with Roy Jones Jr. But the fact that he backs his own brother, who's a murderer, who killed with his homeboys, who imagine, right, the safest place you have to live is your own house, right? And imagine having 3 black gangsters bowl into your house, rob you, kill you, and steal from you. And yet Jared Anderson is supporting this degenerate brother. Okay? I know blood's thicker than water, but he should just leave it and not talk about it. He should not be coming in the ring honoring his brother. He's a disgusting piece of shit. So for that reason, I want Bakole to win by violent KO. By brutal Congolese KO. That's what I want to see. So, but if I had to bet my life on it, and this is always the way, right? If you're honest with yourself, this is always the way so you don't fool yourself. You ask yourself, if I had to bet my life, what would I bet on? Well, I would bet on Anderson, probably on points. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope Martin Bakole batters Anderson. Peace in the Middle East.